Hello. I just wanted to say, this photo I got from Wikimedia Commons. I believe it's under Creative Commons, so I could use it in this video. It's from Alvesgaspar. I'll put a link in the description. It's of a solitary bee, which is interesting because most bees are social. So, the topic of this video is avoiding an art style, which I find extremely important. And I think the reason why you should avoid one when you're learning to start, because like you lack the technical knowledge. Like you ever hear, uh, you know, don't break it until you can make it. So I think the point is trying to have an understanding of the thing you want to draw, being able to have the technical skills to draw what you want to do. But like you want to be good at it before you break it in any way. Like I have a whole, there's a lot of stuff that I plan to do by breaking it, but I feel like my technical ability is still pretty weak. So like I want to get it to a good state before I even try to think of breaking it. You know, if I would think of anyone, I would think of surrealist, right? So if someone wants to be a surrealist artist, I feel like you really need to know realism before you could break it down surreal, like in surrealism. Because I feel like to get to that point, like surrealism is basically well realism and the surreal, so it's kind of breaking that apart and like don't break it until you can make it. And if you try to jump right to like surrealism before you learn how to draw properly, there's like a knowledge gap you run into, which really worries me about myself. I mean, maybe some people can make could do like maybe you may not need to do it. I guess maybe if you're more into like fine art, you need to focus on getting really good technical skill. I mean, I feel like everyone should focus on realism, but maybe if that's not your goal, and maybe you want to, I guess there's always a percentage of how good you want to be at it before you decide to, well, do you understand kind of like the level that you want to be good at before you start breaking it? I mean, maybe you feel comfortable breaking it in a certain way, and maybe you don't want to do 100% realism. Maybe that's not your end goal. So, I guess you have to leave it up to yourself. But I would say if you do want to keep improving, if even breaking stuff properly, and maybe in a little bit of a logical way, uh, definitely try to keep that in mind. So, like, I was going to draw this bee here kind of to serve as an example of that I still lack a lot of technical skill, and it takes a really long time to get that good. And that's just drawing. That's not even like painting. Like I eventually do want to get into painting, but I find that really far down the line until I get my skills up. It's just something that I have to accept, and that's why I am avoiding an art style. Because I want to get good, no matter how long it takes. I'm kind of messing that end part up. The important thing here is when I was doing that construction, I wanted like that wing to like if you see the little ellipses here that I drew, they're kind of like the pilot holes where the wings are inset into the back thorax. So I'm trying to keep it within like the bounds of that ellipse. I'm gonna do it for the other side. Maybe I went too far. And yeah, I'm just not 100% happy. I think I made it too large, so I'm gonna do that again. Luckily, I'm working in digital and I could undo some of my mistakes. Which I realized that when you go to physical, you don't have that blessing. And I think I made that wing way too large. Like, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna do that again because I clearly made it too far. I think that's a little better. I think this gap is too large, but I think I'm gonna roll with it. Like wrap it around there. I could have done these better, but I'm gonna roll with it. I mean, I think I need a lot of practice myself. I'm also kind of realizing when I drew that I couldn't draw all of this stinger. It's a bit obscured based on the view, but I just realized that I probably should have been doing that on a construction layer. I'll do that. Well, I guess not. I'll keep it to that. I'll keep those parts gestural, but actually I'm gonna draw the leg pilot holes. As it's an insect, it has 3 legs. They're a bit hard to see based on the view, which is a bit disappointing. A lot of the legs are just obscured. And I didn't even draw the structure of the wings. If you look closer at the solitary bee, it has these, I'm not sure what you would call them, but structure to the wings. It's so hard to absorb them because they're just everywhere, and I know they serve like a very good purpose. Also, the wings kind of like cut in. Like I drew it as I drew the gestural shape as just to capture the idea, like the shape language of it, but there are parts where I see that it kind of like maybe sticks out a little bit more, or maybe goes in a bit more. It's really interesting, but it has something to do with like aerodynamics and all of that. I'm not an expert at wings yet, but I will try to spill facts the more I learn them. I'm totally not doing that to scale. You can get really lost in it. But if throughout this video, if you learn anything, know that this is the reason why personally I'm avoiding any art style for now. I mean, you could work on it for fun, but I feel like it's one of those things that you really need to hone. And maybe not learning the technical stuff is like the big thing to really get an understanding of it. I see that the interesting thing is the wing here. If you could see where my computer mouse is, it's kind of like there's like a jagged shape. It kind of like cuts in. I don't know if maybe it has a couple wings, and maybe that's why I'm seeing that. It's a bit difficult to see, but it is there. Know that it is there. The interesting thing is like the end, I see like a really thick part. I don't know, maybe it's used to reinforce. something. I don't know what exactly. Now I'm going to go to the construction layer. I'm going to draw the eyes of this bee, which is really interesting because they are kind of like bulging a bit. They're not too complicated of a shape, but they're definitely inset within the head. Has its like mouth thing that connects to the head. Kind of see them. I don't know if they're mandibles or something like that, but they're like little triangular shaped teeth. Not teeth, but I don't know what they are. They look like teeth. It looks like a square or a triangular shape. Onto the legs, which it's really hard to see all of it. I see like a really thin, or a bean shape thinning out here, and here. Kind of goes out there, connects to that leg there. I've always liked that about bees. They have like these legs that are a bit thicker, and I don't know why, but I don't know if it's like I find them less threatening than like hornets or wasps and all of that. The other thing about a bee like this is sometimes you don't get the full picture of all of the bee, so it can be difficult. It may not always be a good idea to draw from a bee like that, just because you're not getting the full picture. Like, there would be a time for doing that, but it may not be the good time right now for you to do that. I'm seeing that there. That looks like a third leg. I think I should have put the pilot hole for the bee's third leg like over here instead, because that one gets a bit obscured. I should have picked a different bee image, but I'm going to roll with this one. And that leg right here is just so obscured. The other thing is, it's interesting. I'm not sure. I don't think there's like a ribbing to it, but there's kind of like, I kind of see like a flattening out near its abdomen in the back. I'm not sure what you would call it, but it's kind of like goes in a little bit. But yeah, let this serve as a testament how much more technical knowledge I need before I would even try to start forming some type of style or even doing surrealism for that matter. But yeah, thank you for listening to me throughout this video. I hope it helps give you inspiration and also why you may want to postpone finding any art style. But yeah, bye. If you have a question, please ask in the comments. If you like my video, please like it. If you're interested in my content, please subscribe to my channel. But yeah, bye.